Hey, what's going on? I was dating this girl, Nadia, for a year and 10 months. I was dating her for a year and 10 months. And when we started dating, we was together all the time. It was a great relationship. We had sex a lot. We would see each other every day. We would go and hang out. And then she had a girlfriend. Her name was Michelle. And then she was like, why don't you hook, your cousin up with Michelle? I was like, cool. So we hooked them up together, and they clicked right away. And the relationship between the four of us was like the Martin show. It was like all of us together, and we would go hang out and do a lot of like movie dates and things like that. So on my job, I decided that I was going to do a lot of overtime, and doing the overtime, I figured, you know what, I'm going to save up for an apartment, because at this time I was living with my mom. So I had this bright idea to do all this overtime and then save up for an apartment. So I started seeing less and less of Nadia, which I thought it wasn't a problem. But, she would call me while I was at work. And when she would call me, she would say, I see you, I'm horny, and this, that, and the other, whatever. But I was really committed to getting this money up to get the apartment, because I wanted her to move in with me. So maybe after being with Michelle for like 4 months, they wound up breaking up, and then it was just the three of us. It was me, Nadia, and Michelle. So Michelle would still come over, and when she would come over, we would cook and watch movies and stuff like that or whatever, and that'll be pretty much how that went. So, because you know how women talk, Michelle was there for a lot of what went down as far as how good I treated Nadia. So she knew my background pretty well when it came to a relationship. So I'm doing all this overtime, and I'm killing it or whatever. And the less I saw Nadia, it seemed like more tension started to grow between us. But I wasn't really thinking of it as tension. I just thought that, maybe she was just a little disappointed. She couldn't see me as much as she used to. But I thought she would understand that I'm trying to save this money for this apartment. So when I come into work, and we had cubes, the company I was working for, we had our own cubes and stuff like that. So when I would come into the office, I would go to everybody, good morning, patting them on the shoulder, telling jokes, happy-go-lucky, smiling. Everything was good and getting money. I was in a loving relationship. So, it was all good. So I go into work, and I'm sitting at my computer. And as I'm sitting at my computer, I'm like, I get this phone call. And this is I get in at 9. The phone rang at 9:45. I remember it to this day. 9:45, the phone rang, and I pick up the phone on, good morning, and it was Michelle. And I was like, hey, what's going on or whatever. And it's not, unusual for her to call me at work, to set things up between us, to hang out between the four of us and stuff like that. So when she broke up with my cousin, I was saying, well, we're not really hanging out like that anymore, so why would you call me? It was like going on in my head, but I wasn't, I was just like, let me see where it's going. So she's talking to me, she's like, how's everything or whatever. And, as I'm talking to her, she brings up Nadia, and she says, hey, the only reason why I called you is because for the last month that you've been on this overtime, Nadia's been cheating on you. And I look at the phone, I'm like, man, stop playing around, stop telling jokes or whatever, whatever. And I just brushed it off, and I laughed it off, and I said, listen, I'm gonna have to talk to you later. I got some work to take care of, and I'm gonna talk to you in a few. So I hang up the phone, and when I hung up the phone, I really start my demeanor change. I felt my demeanor change. because that movie, The Best Man with Morris Chestnut, I related back to that movie because I felt like him at that time when he was at the altar, and all he could have is visions of his soon-to-be wife fucking his best friend. And it started to bother him while he's about to marry his soon-to-be wife. And that's how I was feeling, thinking what she was saying, that, Nadia's cheating on you and this, that, and the third or whatever. And then she went to tell me that at 7 o'clock, she's going to get into this Black Maxima and they're going to, she's going to go to the hotel with her ex-boyfriend. So I'm saying to myself, nah, this can't be happening. So I was scheduled to do overtime that day, and I went to my manager and I said to him, listen, I know I said I committed to overtime tonight, but I really can't stay tonight. I'm leaving my regular time. So I go and I get in my car and I park like maybe a block away from her building, and I'm standing like, across the street or whatever, and I'm looking. I look at my watch. All right, 7:50. No, I'm sorry. 6:50. 6:58. 7 o'clock. I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? What am I doing here? I mean, like, this is stupid. So as I start to walk off, this Black Maxima pull up, and something told me that, you know what, this doesn't look right. It felt funny to me. So I decided to stay, and sure enough, Nadia comes downstairs and she jumps in the car. So I go into my car and I follow them, and they end up at the hotel, the Whitestone Motel rather, the Whitestone Motel. So I was like feeling like, wow, okay. So I go home, I tell my mother what happened, and I told her that Nadia's dead to me, and she calls, I answer the phone, and I decide to delete everything Nadia, remove everything Nadia from my life, because I knew that I was going to be sitting in my house one day looking at my phone and wanting to call her. So I said the best way to remove everything Nadia from my system is just to get rid of everything, phone numbers, delete everything, whatever. So I go to work the next day, and again I run around, I'm laughing, jokey, and that none of that happened the next day. I went into my cube, and for like 10 minutes I just stared at the screen, and I didn't even turn on my computer. And people would walk by and they knew something was wrong, but they left me alone. So when they left me alone, it gave me time to really think and process everything. And I was like, alright, cool, I'm gonna be good. So my phone rings, and it's Michelle. So she says, Darren, I just called to say what's up and all that, whatever, see how you feeling, and did you go out there? And I was like, yeah, I went out there. And she asked me, she was like, so what did you was I right? I was like, yeah, you was right. She said, so what did you do? She thought I killed her, I smacked people around, I brought a gun, I flipped, whatever. I told her that, I basically saw what I needed to see. I followed them, saw what I needed to see, and I basically just went home and just said it's over. And when I told her that, she thought that I was lying. I said I have no reason to lie. I basically just said, you know what? I just said I'm done with Nadia, and you was right, Michelle, and it's just time for me to get out, and I appreciate you looking out or whatever. So she asked me, so are you gonna call her and tell her? And I was like, nah. She was like, well, don't tell her I told you. I was like, nah, I ain't gonna tell her anything. She was like, the only reason why I told you this is because I feel that you're a really good man and she don't deserve you, and I think that I'm a better woman for you. And when she told me that, I was like, thanks a lot, I'm flattered that you looked out for me and all that, and that you would want to be with me and stuff, but I have to remove myself, everything Nadia, because I need to just get out of this situation and not let it eat me up. And being with you is going to be a connection to Nadia, which I can't have right now. She understood and she respected that. And, you know, to this very day, unless she told her why we broke up, I never spoke on the subject. I never called her. I never explained myself. She came to my house, knocked on the door, and all I ignored it. My mother ignored it due to the fact that, you know, I told her what the situation was and why I was not ignoring her. She called my job. She came by my job, and I told my manager what was up, and they had her escorted off the property, all that other good stuff. So I made it up in my mind that if she was doing that to me, I can't trust her. I really can't trust her. And I know in the past, women that I broke up with, if I still had their phone number, like a week later or a month later, for whatever reason why we broke up, I would try to go back to that. And I knew the love that I had and the relationship that I had with this woman, it wasn't just a relationship that I was in with a girl that I was just dating. This was something a lot more serious, and where I was really, really hurt. And I said, I can't revert back to my old ways of calling after a month later and getting back with that person. I couldn't do it. So to this day, she's probably still wondering whatever happened to Darren. And all I can say is that I could care less, only because you're going to do that to me. I'm not going to dignify you by giving you an explanation why I'm out. I'm just going to be out and I'm just going to disappear, and that's it. So I know what I saw. There's nothing that she could tell me that says, Darren, your eyes are lying to you, because you're getting into another man's car and you're gonna end up at a motel. I mean, really, are you going there for Bible study, or are you going there for a job interview? No, you going there to spread your legs and to get pounded on. So how can I go to somebody and be like, all right, all is forgiven, or, you know, we could work it out? There's nothing to work out at this point. You made your choice to be with the next man. So as a grown adult, I have no paperwork on you. I don't have a leash on you, and I have no rights to your life. You're free to do whatever you want, and I'm just gonna leave you to your decision and just keep it moving. So yeah, I didn't do anything. All I did was put in a lot of overtime to buy us an apartment, and this is how I get treated. So when I hear stories of, oh, I can't find a good man, or when I hear stories about my man don't want to work and my man beats me, and then I come along and I do everything that a woman complains that her man isn't doing, I'm doing the opposite, and I'm giving you a reason to hold on to me, appreciate me, and want to have a relationship that you can be proud of. And then you're gonna shit on me like that, and not shit on me to the point where you're disrespectful to my face. Because probably to this day, I probably wouldn't have never known if her girlfriend didn't, you know, snitch on her, which helped me. But some people might see that as, oh, she's hating, or I don't see that as hating. She sees that I'm a good man, and she wouldn't throw or risk or jeopardize a good relationship for an old dick that she used to deal with. Because this is an ex-boyfriend, and he's an ex for a reason. And here I am, and it wasn't like I was out with my boys and, you know, I'll leave her home alone and not take out. No, I said to her, listen, I'm gonna get enough money up where I can get this apartment, I'm gonna buy this co-op, and we can move in together, and we can have our own spot or whatever. And I was doing that for us, and because you couldn't see me as much as you used to, you feel that got your old boyfriend to get a dick that probably wasn't worth it, because if it was worth it, you would have kept them. You would have kept them, but since you didn't, you dealt with me, and now look, you're not with me anymore. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe you got like 3 kids by 3 different baby fathers. Your stomach looked like a busted windshield with all kind of stretch marks and all that, and you probably used up. Whereas with me, I would have probably married you, because that's how strong our relationship was. Our relationship was so strong. I would have probably married you. I don't know. To this day, who knows? To this day, I'm saying to myself, when I hear women tell me stories of their man is a piece of shit, my man don't work, I'm supporting him, he beats me, he cheats on me, and all this other stuff. And when I hear women say that, I just say, well, you know, I don't know what to tell you, but I was that dude that you would have probably been real proud of, because I don't have any kids, and, you know, I'm not looking to bring drama into somebody's life. I don't bring drama. Life is good. I wake up every day with a smile on my face, knowing that I don't owe anybody money. I make my own money, and I'm about enjoying life and having fun. All that arguing and bickering and flipping and smacking, and I'm not about that. I'm about working, getting money, building my business, and, you know, being with my queen, making her happy, she making me happy, and let's just enjoying life. But when you want to make a decision that could cost you a lot, you may not see it at that moment, but then when you're sitting at home and you're stuck with a decision that you made, and you're stuck saying, damn, I played myself. Yeah, you played yourself, because thanks to her girlfriend, I found out what was the deal. So I decided, you know what, I'm out, it's over, and I just walked away without even explaining myself. I just moved on with my life, and I really give her a lot of credit for Michelle for doing that for me. But to this day, I haven't spoken to her since, and I think it's best that I leave it that way. Even though she looked out for me, I'm not saying that we can't be friends, but I just think that with her connection to Nadia is something that wouldn't be good for me. So, Michelle, if you ever see this, good looking out, and I owe you a lot, so I want to thank you for that. But yeah, I did nothing. I didn't smack anybody. I didn't approach the guy, and I would never, if my girlfriend is in the bed with another guy, and I come home and I catch them, I'm not getting at the guy. The guy's just being a guy. The woman is the person I have the issue with. So I'm not fighting the guy. I'm not shooting the guy. I'm not stabbing the guy. I mean, I would expect the guy to have some respect. And when I say leave my house, you would leave. But then if you're going to challenge me in my own house, then, you know, it's going to go left, and then it becomes a different situation. But as a respectable man fucking another man's girlfriend, even if he knew or he didn't know, or if he knew or if he didn't even know, and he says, you know, oh, my bad, she told me she was single and this and the other, you know, whatever. Or if he said, yeah, I knew, but, you know, whatever it is, and I actually just leave, and then, you know, I'll take it up with her, I'll pack her shit and throw it in the garbage, because as long as my name is on the lease, as long as I'm paying the bills, I'm not going to allow disrespect to be put on me. And when I ask you to leave, you're not going to leave. No, you're going to leave. I'll just call the cops, and, you know, you got to just be up out of there. So, but it didn't get to that. I mean, I got the apartment without her, and it was just me, and, you know, whatever. And eventually the phone call stopped. Coming by my job definitely stopped when she was asked to leave the premises, or it would be considered trespassing. So she left on the basis of that. And, you know, it is what it is. So to this day, I say, you know, good riddance to old rubbish, and that's it. So now when I get in a relationship, or if I'm dating a woman, or anything goes down, I do not waste time to delete a number, because there's so many women out here, and it's like fishing. You put that rod and reel in the water, and you wait to see what you catch, and you catch something. You basically examine it, see how it plays out, and if it's not to your liking, you throw it back in the water, and then you go fishing again, and then you pull something else out of the water, and you see what that's about. So I equate dating to fishing. You don't know what you're getting until you pull it out of the water, examine it, hang with it, see what it's about or whatever. And that's how it is. So first signs of nonsense, bullshit or whatever, the number gets deleted. Next, I don't spend a lot of time on trying to figure a lot of stuff out when it comes to dealing with a woman. As adults, we both know what we want. Let's make each other happy. Let's have fun, enjoy life, and that's how it should go down. So there you go. My experience with a cheater is I walked away from it, and I feel that it made me a better person, and it made me a better evaluator of women when I come in contact with them. Because, and I'm not saying that I take that situation and punish all women for it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not punishing all women for what Nadia did or anything like that. What I do now is I just basically have a conversation with a woman, and the conversation I find out to be how I would just general light conversation is how I get to know a person. How I get to know that woman is through light general conversation. I'm not pulling out a pad and running down a list of questions that you have to answer for me to figure out if you're the type of woman that I want to deal with. Nah. General light conversation, and throughout that conversation you get to learn a few things about the person that you're trying to get to know. And that comes through spending time with somebody. So there you go.